Lights, Camera, Jacksons.
Hey, hello everyone. This is the Jacksons here with another episode of our Ships. Now, if you've been following us and you watched the videos, this one is going to combine relationships and marital ships. And pretty much we want you all to know that it's entwined, going from the courtship or dating world into marriage. And so we just want to share a little bit of our experience, probably some other experiences from other people, family members, loved ones that have been married short time, long period of time, and also just to give you give you scriptures and to also tell you about the definitions of things, especially being the fact that not everyone really looked it up to know that there is a difference and how it pertains to you, especially if you are a believer, a Christian, and someone who really has a strong foundation on being married and trying to understand how to go through this world, especially the way things are nowadays, and hopefully end up having the right one. I'm not going to use the term soulmate. I'm going to use the term chosen mate by yourself with the guidance of the Lord and how that works out, so I guess the best way to start is to give you a scripture. Is one of my favorites, from Proverbs 31 verse 10, and it reads, oh, that went to the whole different one. That's okay, hold on, I'm gonna switch back to where it was. wait a minute okay, because we're talking about a person who finds a wife, finds a good thing, but I want it to go correctly. So if you all are following along with me, go to Proverbs 31 and verse 10, and I'm going to be reading from the New Living Translation, the NLT, and it says, "Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies." And reason why that's one of my favorite verses is because it's talking about who can find. And sometimes you go out there and they like, oh, like I found this one, I think he's my soulmate, or I found this one because I think she's my soulmate, and she has these certain characteristics that I like. And what I learned at the end of the day, if the Lord did not direct you to the person that you're supposed to be with, you will pick up any and anything and marry that person or have relations with that person, and then your whole life is turned upside down. Because one of the things that is very oftentimes not discussed is the spiritual connection with the person that you're with. And you may not see it because you're so wrapped up and attuned to what's going on with that person, but other people on the outside will see it, and they'll notice your character changes, your behavior changes. Not to get too deep into the spiritual realm or demonic realm, but that spirit of lust that follows people who are outside of the will of the Lord, especially when it comes to relationships of the sexual kind, you will be caught up, tied up with what is known as a soulical bond.
Right. Some try to fill voids.
Right. And you trying to fill that void through that means, not realizing that it's the same spirit that's bouncing from person to person to person.
Connecting through trauma bonds. You may feel like something is relatable because of something that you both shared that may be similar, that you've gone through. So those are trauma bonds. Not that doesn't mean that you have something in common. That just means that you all have something in common with going through a certain trial in life. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to be together. So a lot of that comes
That's
with
true.
filling voids in your life.
Yup.
You know.
And at the end of the day, you know, it's okay if people don't agree with what we say. And if you agree with what we say, you know, that's great. But at the end of the day, the Lord requires you, he requires of you to be in the place where you should be with him in order for him to help you and to clean you and direct you. Remember, he is our light. He is the light in dark places, but he is also our fortress. He is our shield. He protects us from these disastrous situations, from these disastrous people. He's the one, through his Holy Spirit, places an hedge of protection around us and our family to protect us from the wiles of the enemy. So when we are in relationships, and again, we're both called speaking from a place where we've been in relationships outside and we've been in relationships inside, and there's nothing like being in a relationship with someone that you're married to. And I'm not just saying that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just because you're married doesn't mean that you're not going to have issues. It's still a relationship. There will be disagreements and things of that sort, but
yeah, you're still having a relationship with a person.
Yes, correct.
You know what I'm saying? Still having a relationship with a person, and the person has their own will. They have their own mind. The Lord has made that person unique for his purpose, and through his purpose bonded you with that person. That's why when we talked about relationships in regards to family ships, you're supposed to leave your mother, your father, you leave your parents, and you bond to your spouse. You bound to your wife. There's a reason why that's supposed to be, because you're creating your own lineage with the person that you're marrying. You are raising the children based on your married nucleus, because people don't understand the family is not the children and everyone else. Everyone else is an extension of the family. The nucleus is the husband and the wife. So if the husband and the wife has not been solidified properly in the Lord, the marriage is going to have a rocky beginning.
Right.
Okay? And Tanisha and I were dating, and then we started courtship. And I want to clear that up, because people was like, oh man, like, what's the difference? There is a certain distinction because of terms, of the definition of vocabulary of the two and how it's pronounced. Believers, Christians, like to call it courtship. The world calls it dating, and thinking that there's supposed to be the end result is marriage. But dating with sexual relations is not the same as courtship, where there is no sexual relations. Okay? Now again, many people were outside of the world doing their things, and they came in and they have a different understanding now once they've been opened up to the scripture. But it's not always the case. So what is the difference between the two? So I wanted to read to you all right, the difference. What's the difference between dating and courtship? Dating is really more of a stepping stone to get into a relationship where one gets to know someone romantically. Now that dating can lead to the person's relationship where you guys are having sexual relations, then you end up moving into the person, then you living a life that is like a marriage, but you're really not. That's why you want to get the term common law. Right. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
And then, you know, some people don't desire to be married, and that's their choice.
That's their choice.
But you cannot expect
Mm-hmm.
to have a marital type relationship
Mm-hmm.
when it's not.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You're looking for marital type stuff, but you're not living. You're not looking to be married.
Right. And that is a contradiction into itself.
Correct.
There's people that we know personally.
And people say it's just paper.
Right. But it is.
It is paper. It is paper.
It is.
It is. However,
Mm-hmm.
when somebody passes away, do you ever see if they looking for the girlfriend or the boyfriend? You will not be the next to kin.
Right.
You will not be the next to kin.
Yeah.
I don't care how much time you put into
Mm-hmm.
a person
Mm-hmm.
or any of that stuff. You know, and this is just us speaking. We're not trying to convince anyone
Mm-hmm.
or any of that. We just sharing our own personal beliefs and how we desire to do things. Now, yes, sometimes you have people in relationships that have been together, living together, like Lim said, and you know, years go by, and then you start to change. You start feeling different about, okay, well, what are we going to do now? What are we doing next? What's next? And now most of the time the women are trying to push the men to marry them, but it becomes a might as well situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we've been together all this time. Why now?
Right.
You know, you may not feel that way in the beginning, but as time goes by, yes, you're gonna want to feel more sufficient.
Right. And you get people with all sorts of different sayings. What's that one, babe, that they say, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? You hear stuff
Right.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then it's like Tanisha was saying, if we've been married together for so long, 15 years, why do you want to get married now?
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
most of the time it is the woman pressuring the man or pushing the man, like, hey, you know, we've been
Mhm.
together all this time,
Mhm.
but you allowed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, and then it becomes, oh, well, you had me waste my time. No, because it was a choice.
Yeah.
You both had a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people don't want to let go because this is who they feel comfortable with, and so and so. And a lot of times, sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zones to be able to receive what's really for you.
Yeah.
Like this video that we're doing right now.
Right.
We've had to get out of our comfort zones to be able to do these videos because we both introvert and we like, like I ain't trying to. I be in the back. I be in the, you know, behind the scenes. I do the work, but I don't care to be put on blast.
Right.
You know, I do a lot of things, but I'm just not that person that I want to be on the front.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to do that, but we know that this is something that we have to do, and this is something that God been pressing us to do, to get on here and really just share some things, because I tend to say things that other people are afraid to say. My husband always be looking at me kind of sideways sometimes, and he be like, "What? She just said that?" Yes, because yes, it's time to be bold. In every season there is a time, and this is the season for us to be bold and stand on what we mean, what we feel, and all that.
Right. And the other attitude to that is, oftentimes the woman feels this type of way because there's already a child or children involved.
Mm-hmm.
So now the child is 15 and y'all still not in a married situation, married relationship. And as a man, I would have to question that. What is the reason why I don't want to marry her?
Mm-hmm.
If my intent was never to marry her, then I shouldn't have been moving like I'm married to her. That's just me. And that's one of the things that Tanisha and I talked about when we first got together. The difference is we were older. When you're younger, you're not really thinking about that. But as an older couple, okay, or as older individuals wanting to be in a relationship, you have to have talking points that bring out, like she was saying, you out of your comfort. And you can't be afraid to let somebody know, I'm just looking to be in a relationship, but I'm not looking to get married. You know, I had a
But
dream.
but some people do say that in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
But then you have those hopeful people who are
Right.
like, oh, well, maybe he'll or maybe she'll.
Right.
But you can't be upset because it was told to you.
Mhm.
Mostly men are pretty upfront about those things.
Yes.
And sometimes you have some women who will be upfront about it, but mostly men are. They'll say, oh, I'm not really looking for nothing, serious. So that would be your choice if you want to proceed with that man.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of women get tied up in it because they think, oh, if we get in the bed together, he'll change his mind. No, because men are not that way.
No, we're very distinct about what we want.
You can
and
sleep
what
with
we
a woman
feel.
and not think about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Women are more drawn to emotionally.
Yes.
So that it's an attachment. It's like, oh no, he gonna be with me. In their mind, they're hoping for that.
Yeah.
But he already established that when you all had that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't overlook things and then be sitting there like,
yeah,
man.
I mean, sex complicates things. And the reason why it complicates things is because, again, the spiritual aspect of it, you are attached to that person. Women are receivers, men are givers. And when a woman sleeps with a man, she's receiving his spiritual connection with all the other people that he's been dealing with. And the same happens for a man, just in a different way. That's why it's easier for us to detach that type of intimacy. Okay, so again, as a man, my perspective on things has a combination of what I learned in church and what I learned from my friends that weren't in church. And so I created my own thoughts.
You need both.
Yeah, you need, because you end up learning some things about, this is not what I want to do, even with church folks, because they don't always show you the right way either. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to know the word for yourself. I created a threefold, I wouldn't say threefold, but a 3-level way of thinking. If you were my girlfriend, I'm not treating you like I'm engaged to you, and I'm not treating you like I'm married to you. You know what I'm saying? I was not going to give you certain things. If you was a friend, okay, I kept you in that friend zone. Because if you're a friend, you should not be expecting me to treat you like my girlfriend. And I should not be wanting to treat you as you're my girlfriend. I have to create what we talked about from the previous video, boundaries. All right, as a man, created boundaries. So if you're in the category as a friend, this is how I treated you. If you're in a category of a girlfriend, this is how I treated you. And then if you're not a girlfriend, then you and I are courting. And if you see it as boundaries. And you are courting, but I'm still not married to you. So there's an understanding that I created and was taught. You want to read that to him?
Listen to understand
that you also have to think about this as well. No one should have a relationship with someone that goes from 0 to 100 or 0 to 60. They're your friend, they're not your wife. And you got to have that boundary. Your friends, women friends, will respect you. If they respect you, there's a certain things that they know they should not be doing.
Your male friends as well.
And your male friends the same way. And thank God I have friends, but the ones who did not respect that, they see themselves out of my circle. I ain't had to do nothing.
If they're not good for your marriage, they're not good for you as an individual.
Right.
Either.
Right.
And
so I'm going to continue. So according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, to date someone means to make a usually romantic social arrangement to meet with them. As can be inferred from the definition, dating is generally considered to be a form of courtship. Now, you hear that? It's a form of courtship, but it's not courtship per se. Okay? So, and consists of social activities performed by the couple, either by themselves or with others. Courtship is an old-fashioned word assuming that two people who love each other will eventually get married. That's how I want you all to see the distinction. So if you're dating is not courtship.
Right.
They call it a form of it because you're in a relationship and you all are doing things together, or you're doing things with other people together.
Right. And it doesn't necessarily have to be based on sex.
Right.
Dating, and I think a lot of people get dating mixed up because they think that people are dating. They think everybody's sleeping with,
Right.
You have people that date casually, and that's nothing wrong with that because they have that right to. And that should be something that you have a conversation with, those who you are dating. Listen, I'm openly dating, such and such. If they don't understand that, you need to help them understand it, because it could be issues where people really will show their true color. Oh, you talking to this? I'm openly dating, and I told you that in the beginning. And then you also have to understand that there are people that do not comprehend well.
That's true.
You could tell them something and they be like, no, but this is somebody who you definitely don't want to go to the next stage with.
Yeah.
You don't even want to date them anymore. This is where we kind of get mixed up and we skip over, because the flags be there. The red flags be there. And because you want something so bad, you be like, oh, and it's cool, because sometimes those are lessons to get to your blessings. And that's totally fine. But when we have to keep going through that, you got to check yourself. You got to check yourself.
True.
My stomach growling. You hear that?
Yeah. That's okay.
The sun is bright, y'all. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
My son is out there playing on the basketball court, so we kind of took advantage of this time to sit in the car and do this video.
Yeah.
But,
so again, dating is casual. Courtship, even though it's an old English term, but it has a specific reason. So that's something that Tanisha and I would, I guess you can say, we talked about it so we can understand where we are. So when we was just getting to know each other,
we laid the cards out.
Because
we was in what, our 30s and early 40s.
No, babe, I ain't old like that.
Well, me either. I'm just saying. Me either. No, but what? I don't know. I don't remember how old I was.
No, you was in your like later 30s.
Okay, late 30s. Right. Yes. So
yeah, because Peanut was he just turned 5.
Yeah, he was just turning 5.
Now our son is 12.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think I just turned 41, or I was in my 40s.
At the end of the day, we ain't old. I don't care. Like people could say, because these little young folk be talking about, oh, auntie, and hey, like don't do that. I am an auntie, but
babe, you going off in the tangent.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
Okay, so with the courtship, it has a perceived end, and the end is to be married. So we want you all to share this with other people that might be trying to figure out, they're casually dating again, like my wife said. If that's what you want to do, that's your business.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
It's free will. God gave us a free will, but then we cannot blame God when things don't go the way that we want, because he has a specific order on how he wants to do things. And if you take the time to learn his order, it's better for you, because you won't get caught off guard. He really does take the time to protect you. I was in a relationship with someone that I was there longer than I should have, and God told me consistently not to be with that person.
We be trying to be saviors too.
Right. That was the other reason too.
We get stuck and we feel sorry for people because
and it was just chaotic.
It's a difference from when you were raised in love and raised in a whole lot of mess. Yeah. It's a different type.
Dysfunction.
Yes.
Right.
So
and the devil uses that to get you caught up, because the more he wants you caught up, the more he wants you away from the Lord, the more you start losing focus on what's important, and then you start realizing if you realize it, because I did, although it was
Mhm.
almost 5 years later.
Take out
I
time
was
to get to
like,
know the Lord for yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even our elders
Mm-hmm.
just basically went off listening to what other people told them.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, they still don't know God totally for themselves. So yes, you definitely have to take out time to get to know the Lord for yourself.
Yeah.
A few times out, the day or at night. Like for me, when everybody is pretty much settled, that's when I really go into worship, and I'm able to talk to God and ask Him for guidance and things of that sort, and get more into the scriptures. So, and people feel like getting into the Word and getting closer to God means that you have to change, like, everything. You can't dance. You can't listen to music. I like some trap music. I listen to a little trap music here and there, but that does not mean that I'm not saved. Like, I need to know what's going on in the world, but that don't mean I have to be in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I think a lot of people steer away from being saved because they feel like they have to give up everything.
And they don't realize they're not giving up. What they're giving up is the stuff that's keeping them
entrapped.
Exactly. Yeah, there's freedom in the Spirit of the Lord. The Lord Jesus said there's simplicity in Him and there's liberty in Him.
Mm-hmm.
If you're burdened and you're laid with all sorts of confusion and stuff like that,
right.
He's not an author of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord does not give us a spirit of fear, but everything the Lord gives us has to do with a sound mind.
Right.
He gives us sound principles because He's a ordered Lord. He's an ordered God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important to understand that. And that concept is what most people draw away
Mm-hmm.
from, because the devil got them feeling all out of whack when they feel a certain type of way. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the religious elders of the church
yes.
make you feel that way.
Correct.
Too.
And don't and they're traditional. Mm-hmm. I give them grace. There were people that looked at my tattoos, and things like that. And he has no tattoos. I have tattoos, but some people may look at like, well, what he found in her, and what attracted him to her because she got tattoos. But you don't know me. You're looking at my tattoos. I was young when I got these tattoos, but these tattoos do not define me. There are people that may look a certain way, but they can give you that word like no other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, some people know the Lord more than these people that they may have on these long skirts, walking around here all covered up. No, neither here nor there. I feel like people need to don't judge. Okay, don't judge.
Okay. Do not cast judgment unto damnation. That's what she's saying, right? But to kind of wrap this up, I want you all to remember that with courtship, you're assuming
mm-hmm.
that the two people who love each other will eventually get married. Why? Because the couples develop a romantic relationship that is especially with this special view that this romantic relationship will be led to marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and I just want to tell you all something. My mom, she somehow found, was it Bridezillas? that and I was like, oh my gosh, that thing is so old, but it's very interesting. And so I was talking to Tanisha, and I was like, I'm looking at these, and I was like,
that mess was entertainment.
Even though it was entertaining, but you gotta, like, the way that the interaction is between the husband to be and
mm-hmm.
the wife to be, to me, is highly volatile and it's highly negative. And if that's the type of person, you know what I'm saying, like, number one, I respect my wife wholeheartedly. Again, she already said we may not agree on everything because we have our own wills and minds, mm-hmm. but I respect her. I wouldn't be saying some of the stuff I heard the men would say, or subjugate myself to certain behaviors because she'll nag or she'll constantly do something just to have her way, because then that means there's a disconnect between the two of us.
I don't nag. I just say what it is. I'd be
Right.
like, I don't like that,
Mm-hmm.
and so and so.
But that's different. When you are
Yeah.
voicing your concerns or your opinions about something, that's only to help better our relationship and communication.
I don't like nagging either. I'm a woman.
But-
I can't stand it.
But what I saw is like this person goes from fussing, cussing, then crying, all to get and then make the statement of I'll do whatever I need or whatever I want to get my way.
That's somebody who needs some help.
Exactly. And the guy was like, I'd rather do this or I'd rather pay for that than than be in an argument.
Nah.
That's
You are already not in a marriage.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point.
You looking for trouble.
Right. And that's my whole, and those are huge red flags. But again, like Tanisha said at the beginning, because they're with this person for so long, with or without children, but they've been together for 10 years. One of those couples was together for 8 years.
Awareness.
Okay. They were together so long. It was like, I might as well. And I'm like,
Don't be nobody, might as well.
Yeah.
Because you could be holding up what God really have for you.
Yeah.
You may think that this is the person for you. Let me tell you, and we're going to wrap it up, okay? We're not going to hold you all. Now, when me and him started dating, and to truth be told, the Lord was like, this is who I have for you. And I'm like, what? You know I like him tall, dark, and handsome. Not that he not handsome.
Because people would be like, huh?
No.
I'm like,
no. You grew a beard for me because remember,
Well,
you know
true.
how I act. Okay.
Right?
So, look here. Now, tall, dark, and handsome. And I'm sure he has a preference too. However, sometimes it's not going to come how you would like it to. But it's what you need. Okay? It's what you need. And I am attracted to my husband. I wouldn't have married him if I wasn't attracted to him. And I don't think he would have married me either if he wasn't attracted to me. So, sometimes we just have to look at those things because we may have a preference, but seek God and allow him to guide you on everything.
All right, now this ain't no plug, but I like what's it, Brother Umar?
Breaking stigmas, y'all. We got to do it in our community.
Like Brother Umar, I heard Brother Umar say one time that preferences means, and don't quote me on it, this is paraphrasing, but if you have a preference, that means you are comparing the person with all the other persons you've been with. And
that's why that cycle keep happening,
right?
And you're wondering why. Well, how I keep ending up right in, because it's the preference that you have put in place, and that has to be broke. It has to be broke.
That's that
because
soul tie break.
That's a huge bondage. Big, but big bondage. So,
so
y'all,
definitely. So we talked about Proverbs 31 verse 10. So we also threw in Genesis, leaving your mother and father and cleaving unto your wife. We talked about that. There's other scriptures, because the word courtship and the word dating, of course, is not in the Bible, but there's preferences to how you're supposed to live prior to that point. And God does direct you again to who you need, which may not always be who you want, but who you need tends to be better than who you wanted.
Absolutely.
Because there's some doors, I tell her all the time, I know for a fact that even in my reflection, if I with this person or I was with that person, all these doors that opened up for the both of us would not be opened. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. They would not be open. And the person that I have come to be is part of that door that was open, and that was just from us getting to know each other. But I had to be obedient. And one of the greatest things about following the Lord is being obedient and the reward from your obedience. Because God doesn't always say yes. He doesn't even always say not now. He'll tell you no. And that no is one of the greatest things, because that no will keep you out of a destiny of trouble, chaos, and complete debauchery. Okay, I mean, so I've cried over no's, but then later on I realized, thank God that was a no.
No's can save your life though.
Right.
No's can save your life. You know, and we got to just stop trying to be saviors, you know, for everybody. We can't do it. We can't do it. When they start coming with them sob stories at the beginning, call the police.
Psalms 37 verse 4, take delight in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart, which is actually his desires, because if you in him, your desires and his desires line up,
right?
And then you find delight in what the Lord gives you, you know. So, you know, so think about that.
Yeah, don't forget about your own self-love. Heal before you try to get into relationships. Heal. Whatever trauma or anything that you may be experiencing, heal yourself first, because you're going to find yourself jumping in and out, in and out, in and out. And before you know it, you're going to be older. Yeah. And that stuff, it get old. It gets old. And have this first. Self-love. Start with you. Okay? And go from there. Another thing, because we're going to close things out. Be in an inspired circle. Okay? Be mindful of the people that you have around and the people that you're talking to and sharing things with. Okay? Be mindful of those things. Okay, so we wrapping it up. We don't want to hold you any much longer, but share this video if you come across it.
Like, comment, share.
We'll be doing more.
This is Lights, Camera, Jackson's, hashtag business, massage, or the Instagram, hashtag massage _RX _therapy, hashtag the real massage RX therapy Inc. Okay, come be inspired, have fun, talk, laugh.
Yeah, that's what we coming on to do, you know. Just sharing some things. You all are welcome to, you know, comment and things like that. We're not, you know, we're not therapists or anything like that for relationships, but we just share, you know, things just to get out there and just have uncomfortable conversations sometimes, you know. Sometimes we have to just open up those gates to help other people feel comfortable, even through our own, you know, discomfort. So thank y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Take care. Lights, camera, Jackson's.